Hi everybody, welcome back to Arma 3 and welcome back to, of course, the official World War II cDLC for Arma 3, Spearhead 1944, which has just had its 1.1 update, which has given us this amazing new map called Mortain, which the theme is after the Operation Cobra, which was how Spearhead 1944 launched, which in and of itself was this big battle that came after D-Day, where the British and the Canadians were pushing east towards Caen and engaging lots and lots of German armour, which means that the German army was a little bit unbalanced in Normandy. They couldn't be everywhere at the same time, so the Americans drove south in Operation Cobra with some horrendously ferocious fighting, broke through the German lines, and it was the beginning of the end for the German army in Normandy, because it meant that the Americans could break out of the blockage, really really switched to kind of movement warfare, which suited, tanks and aircraft could sweep east and start up the big encirclement of the German army, with the Americans kind of to the south and the west, and the British and the Canadians and the Poles to the north, and this pincer movement that trapped a large number of German soldiers in Normandy, and importantly an awful lot of their equipment which had to be left behind. So this map that you get with this free update is called Mortain, because Hitler, as always after Operation Cobra, decided that a counterattack was the best thing to do, and that counterattack went towards Mortain. Again, horrendously ferocious fighting. However, what we're looking at here is Combat Patrol. Now, Combat Patrol may well be one of my favourite game modes to play in Arma 3, single player especially. And Combat Patrol, in essence, is a simple game mode where it concentrates on what I think Arma 3 is best at, which is small squad combat. And so when you go into Combat Patrol, I play it, with my AI squad, and you can use things like SOG AI to make the controls better, but you don't necessarily have to. You can use vanilla Arma 3 squad controls, and when you start off, you'll have the map, and you can choose the AO, if you like, the area of operations where you want to be. So in this particular one, I chose Mortain. Now, although that's good because it's showing you the town of Mortain, it's not the best for using AI, because Arma 3 AI isn't brilliant at pathing and finding its way round and through buildings. So most of the time in this video, I'm kind of by myself. Whereas if we were in the fields and hedgerows, your AI tends to be a lot more helpful. And then you're given maybe one or two objectives to complete. This one is a rescue the hostage objective, so we need to find the hostage, free them. They will then leg it out of the AO, and then we can get out of the AO as well. But it might be something like destroy the trucks, or it could be as simple as escape the area, and you'll come up against lots of troops that you've got to fight your way through. And crucially for me, it's kind of single player, it's squad based, so you can order your squad around. The scenarios are over pretty quickly. You're looking at about 15 minutes max to play one of these, which is great. And I think especially when you play as the Americans against the Germans, and because you can choose whichever faction you want, it kind of plays into this the whole steel versus flesh idea of the Western Allies anyway against the Germans. So the idea is that although we're a squad, we can call on artillery support, we can call on close air support from aircraft, we can call on mortars, and that enables us to use them as a force multiplier. So we might only be a squad of several soldiers, but we really have a big punch, which allows us to push through and take on the Germans. And I really enjoy it. It's like playing a nice Battlefield or Call of Duty campaign level when they were good. It really harks back to COD 1, 2, and was 3 World War II as well. Those really initial CODs when it was all about the history of World War II and fighting in World War II, and I enjoy it. And because you can have all these different locations on the map and these different things to do, no combat patrol is the same as the other. I've talked to the devs and I've said, look, what we really need is you to be able to do it randomly. So when you jump in, just say, give me a random location with a random objective. like Dynamic Recon Ops. And in fact, if you're a fan of Dynamic Recon Ops, you're going to like Combat Patrol. In fact, I tend to like Combat Patrol better than Dynamic Recon Ops. Because in Dynamic Recon Ops, you've got to spend a lot of time searching around for stuff. And that can be a little bit frustrating. Where with Combat Patrol, you're kind of in the thick of it. You get some fighting, you get some shooting done, you call in some air support, and before you know it, you're finished, and then you can start something else and have another go. Anyway, that's enough for me. So Spearhead 1944, the official World War II cDLC, so it's created by a third party, but published by Bohemian Interactive, kind of comes under the Arma 3 umbrella. It's really good. This update giving you Mortain, and we're getting more vehicles, we're getting different game modes as well. It's well worth playing, especially if you're a single player, because the scenarios are really good to play in single player, and I've thoroughly enjoyed myself. And there's something about these historical DLC for Arma 3, and I think in games in general, that I really like. I really like Prairie Fire because it's the Vietnam War, it's based on real events, and so is Spearhead, and that hits me and is more immersive than like the vanilla campaign of Arma 3, which is set in the future, or the other cDLC that are basically based around like the Cold War going hot, which never really happened. And so I'm not as much. I don't buy into it as much as I do with the World War II and the Vietnam ones. So there we go. Definitely recommended. Pick it up, especially when it's in the Steam sale. It's not very expensive, and you're going to have a great time. That's enough from me, though. Thank you very much, and I'll speak to you soon.